Παρακαλούμε όπως λάβετε τις θέσεις σας καθώς...
Please take your seats. The president will be here in 5 minutes, so we are due to start on time as this event will be also streamed online.
Κυρίες και κύριοι, παρακαλώ λάβετε.
Ladies and gentlemen, please take your seats. The President of the Republic will be here in 2 minutes.
Παρακαλώ και τους υπόλοιπους που δεν έχουν ακόμα καθίσει.
Please take your seats. Those of you still standing, please take your seats.
Η συνομιλία που έχει ο πρόεδρος της
The president is having a conversation outside in the lobby with the ladies who are embroidering the Lefkara embroideries.
Εξοχότατε Πρόεδρε.
Your Excellency, President of the Republic, Mr. Nikos Christodoulides, members of the Cabinet, Commissioner on Fisheries and the Oceans, honorable members of Parliament, Your Excellencies, ambassadors, members of the European Parliament, Mayor of Lefkara, distinguished guests, distinguished young people from youth organizations and students. Today, here in Lefkara, marks the beginning of Cyprus's second presidency of the Council of the European Union. The Republic of Cyprus will lead one of the Union's institutions from the 1st of January to the 30th of June 2026. It will be at the heart of the European Union's political life. As an honest broker, it will take over the presidency, helping to ensure the smooth functioning of the European Union. It will lead negotiations affecting around 450 million European citizens. It will bridge different positions and approaches with the aim of achieving consensus and progress for the benefit of the EU, its 27 member states and their citizens. We therefore welcome you to the presentation of the work programme and priorities of the Cyprus Presidency of the Council of the European Union. I invite the Deputy Minister for European Affairs, Ms. Marilena Rauna, to take the floor for her welcoming remarks. She has coordinated the preparatory work for the Cyprus presidency and has led a large team of officials who have worked tirelessly and diligently for 2 years on a project that is a national mission. Mrs. Rauna, you have the floor. Your Excellency, Mr. President of the Republic, honorable ministers and deputy ministers, Commissioner, Your Excellencies, ambassadors, members of the European Parliament, honorable members of Parliament, dear Mr. Mayor, distinguished guests, my dear children. When we embarked upon this journey towards the Cyprus presidency almost 2 years ago, today seemed a long way off, not only as a date on the calendar, but also as a feeling, as the moment of realization of a demanding journey, which paradoxically is both the finishing line and the starting line. Ahead of us lay a journey full of strategic planning, decisions, and hard work. But it was also a journey of determination. From the outset, we knew that the Cyprus presidency was not just an institutional duty for us. It was and still remains a national mission. From the moment he took office, the President of the Republic made the Cyprus presidency a national priority, fully aware of the challenges, but also deeply convinced that this was a unique opportunity for Cyprus, not only for the 6 months of the presidency, but also for the future. An opportunity to demonstrate that it can offer what it can offer to the European project, not to limit itself to managing issues, but to formulate proposals and solutions. To work as an honest and reliable broker, representing all member states equally and transparently, to seek and formulate consensual solutions in the common European interest. We must lead critical negotiations. We will become the voice of the 27 partners in a demanding geopolitical context. To this end, the Secretariat of the Cyprus Presidency was established, the core of coordination of the preparations and political oversight of this major undertaking, under the constant guidance of the President of the Republic, in close and daily cooperation with the Minister of Foreign Affairs, with all members of the Council of Ministers. Today, this journey towards the Cyprus presidency is coming to an end. We are now ready to present the political vision, our goals and priorities, the goals and priorities of the Cyprus presidency. Ladies and gentlemen, it is no coincidence that we are here today in Lefkara. From the outset, we wanted the Cyprus presidency to be a vehicle for promoting our country, its history, and its rich cultural heritage. The Cyprus presidency, therefore, begins today here with all of you. What does this mean in practice for our country? The figures speak for themselves. During the presidency, we will host over 260 meetings in all districts of the free areas of Cyprus, including the informal summit of heads of state, the very first to be held in Cyprus, as well as 19 informal ministerial meetings. We will chair more than 1,500 meetings in Brussels in over 190 council working groups and subgroups. We will host in Cyprus around 30,000 visitors from all over Europe. And we will negotiate on behalf of all 27 member states of the European Union more than 330 legislative and other dossiers. Mr. President, ladies and gentlemen, as of January 2025, the process of formulating the six-month work program and setting the priorities of the Cyprus presidency began, which will be presented immediately afterwards by the President of the Republic. The program was the result of a participatory process involving social, economic, and other partners, including the civil society and other organized groups. And this was achieved through direct dialogue organized in July at the Presidential Palace with key stakeholders representing the Cypriot economy and society. And of course, with all the ministries, the deputy ministries, through the European Affairs departments. We listened to the expectations and suggestions of our social partners with the aim to highlight issues of high priority for Cypriot stakeholders on the European agenda, in line always with the EU's strategic agenda, the dossiers that we will inherit from the Danish presidency, but also the current political and socio-economic conditions and developments. Our goal is a realistically ambitious presidency focused on delivering tangible results for the benefit of all European citizens, to develop solutions to the challenges facing our large European family. And I will conclude with the following. Many compare the 6 months of the presidency, but also the period leading up to it, to a sprint marathon, a long and extremely demanding journey. This is why I feel the need to express my gratitude and warmest thanks to all those who have worked and continue to work daily for our national mission. To my team at the Secretariat of the Cyprus Presidency, which has been working from the outset with professionalism, dedication, and soul. To the Ministry of Foreign Affairs for its close and excellent cooperation. And to our team, the excellent team at the permanent representation of the Cyprus to the European Union, where the core of our presidency will be based. To the officials in all the ministries and deputy ministries who are working on this national effort. To the communication agencies of the Cyprus Presidency, the Press and Information Office, and the Cyprus Broadcasting Corporation, and to the Treasury for the ongoing support. Ladies and gentlemen, it is time to open altogether the chapter of the Cyprus Presidency, moving forward with confidence, hard work, and pride in all that Cyprus can achieve. Keep up the good work.
Κυρία Ραουνά.
Thank you, Mrs. Rauna. Holding the presidency of the Council of the EU is a major political event for every member state of the Union. During the 6-month presidency, a work program is implemented, which is drawn up with the aim of ensuring the continuity of the EU agenda, the legislative activity, cooperation between member states, coordination and cooperation between the Council and the other institutions of the Union. The program of the Cyprus Presidency, like that of every member state, is inspired by the vision and objectives set by Cyprus for a stronger union, because a strong union means safer and more prosperous states. It means a stronger and a safer Cyprus. I invite the President of the Republic, Mr. Nikos Christodoulides, to take the floor and present the program and priorities of the Cyprus Presidency of the Council of the EU. Mr. President.
Ladies and gentlemen, dear friends, dear Commissioner, friend, Mayor, Member of the European Parliament, Your Excellencies, members of the House of Representatives, dear children, members of the clergy. Today is a landmark day for our European journey, a landmark day for the present and future of the Republic of Cyprus. It is a special day, not only because in 10 days we will be assuming an institutional role as a member state of the EU, but first and foremost because we are assuming a responsibility towards Europe, towards our fellow citizens, towards the children who are here with us today and the children in all member states of the Union, towards the future. Today, the heart of Europe beats stronger here in our homeland, at the southeasternmost tip of Europe, in the last occupied member state. And my dear friend, the Mayor, it is no coincidence at all that we have chosen to gather here in Lefkara today, in a place that embodies the creativity, tradition, and timeless extroversion of our country. A place that connects Cyprus with Europe, from its intricate embroidery to its contemporary radiance, as we have seen outside this room. We have therefore gathered here today not merely to discuss our common European future. We're here to take on this future, to become protagonists, and to contribute to its shaping in a decisive manner. Ladies and gentlemen, in a few days, the Republic of Cyprus, our homeland, will assume the presidency of the Council of the European Union. And today, as we have already heard, we are here to present our political priorities, the priorities that bring our vision to life and shape the image of Europe, the image of the European Union we aspire to in 2030, 2040, 2050. With a strong sense of responsibility and a profound belief in the European vision, with pride, because the moment of Cyprus has come. And Cyprus, our country, is ready, I repeat, is ready to lead, to be the voice of the 27 member states for 6 months, to lead, to coordinate, to negotiate as honest brokers, to bridge differences, and to push European integration forward with self-confidence, with pride, because I am certain taking into account all the preparatory work that has taken place, that Cyprus can deliver. Ladies and gentlemen, the Cyprus Presidency comes at a time of heightened geopolitical and geoeconomic challenges. Challenges that test the resilience of the member states, test the resilience of the European Union, test our unity and cohesion. And yet, as the history of the European Union has demonstrated from the very first day of this venture, Europe does not buckle under crisis. It does not fear challenges. On the contrary, as history has shown, Europe approaches crises and challenges as opportunities, and it evolves. It does not fear, it adapts, it strengthens itself, and I repeat, because this is the key issue here, it moves forward. This is the European path. This is the European way. Ladies and gentlemen, time waits for no one. Delay is not an option. Opportunities do not wait. And what is needed right now, and this is the key goal of our presidency, is an autonomous European Union. An autonomous European Union as an essential next step in the transformation towards European integration. A union that is strong from within, capable, first of all, to protect its citizens, capable of protecting its citizens, its borders, and its interests. A union that is capable of forging partnerships and alliances from a position of strength, fully aware that the stronger it is, the more valuable it becomes to its partners. A union that is outward-looking and open to the world. A union which, when is open to the world, can have a meaningful role and voice on the global scene. A union that draws strength from its stability, its credibility, and its predictability. A union that inspires trust because it is founded on principles and values, on international law, on dialogue, diplomacy, and cooperation. Ladies and gentlemen, this is the union we will work towards as Cyprus Presidency, towards an autonomous union that is open to the world. This is the key message and the main objective of the Cyprus Presidency. And I repeat, an autonomous union open to the world. Ladies and gentlemen, the thread that ties together every initiative, every priority, and every policy that we will promote in the next 6 months is based on 5 interconnected pillars. The first pillar is autonomy through security, defense, and readiness. The second pillar is autonomy through competitiveness. The third pillar is a union open to the world, a union that is autonomous. The fourth pillar is an autonomous union of values for all. And the fifth pillar, a budget that is always necessary and essential to support an autonomous union. Ladies and gentlemen, as I have just mentioned, the first pillar of our priorities is autonomy through security, defense, and readiness. Russia's invasion of Ukraine has demonstrated in the clearest way possible the need to strengthen the European security architecture, our defense readiness as European Union, our ability to protect our citizens and our interests, to defend our values with consistency and courage. In the next 6 months, support for Ukraine will remain a top priority for the Cyprus presidency. Ladies and gentlemen, of course, it couldn't have been otherwise, taking into account that we, Cyprus, the Republic of Cyprus, has first-hand knowledge of what invasion means, what occupation means, what it means when fundamental principles and rights are violated. The Cyprus presidency will promote within the first pillar of our priorities the rapid implementation of the white paper on the future of European defense and the accompanying roadmap for achieving the Union's defense readiness by 2030, as well as the EU Preparedness Union strategy. We will proceed with both realism and ambition, entirely convinced that Europe can and must rise to the challenges of our times. In this context, we will work specifically to promote and implement key defense initiatives and flagship projects, such as the EU Defense Industry Strategy, the European Defense Transformation Roadmap, the well-known SAFE initiative, and the implementation of the European Defense Industry Programme regulation. At the same time, strengthening transatlantic relations and further deepening cooperation between EU and NATO in an inclusive, transparent, and mutually beneficial manner will be a key priority as a cornerstone of European security. Moreover, European autonomy is not at odds with our alliances. On the contrary, it makes them stronger, more equitable, and more reliable. A more autonomous union is, at the end of the day, also a more valuable partner. Ladies and gentlemen, an autonomous union is, above all, a secure union. However, as we know very well, security in today's world is not one-dimensional. It is a broad, complex, and multi-layered concept, encompassing multiple and interconnected aspects. And this is precisely how we intend to approach it at the Cyprus presidency across all its dimensions through a holistic 360-degree perspective. Such an approach aims to reduce strategic dependencies, to strengthen resilience, and to enhance the ability of the European Union to anticipate, to manage, and to respond successfully to crisis. In this context, I will begin with the effective management of migration, which is a key priority of our presidency. Cyprus will draw on its experience in implementing effective policies to manage migration flows, promoting an integrated and effective European approach to both the internal and external dimensions of migration, addressing its root causes in this way through a meaningful cooperation with countries of origin of migrants. The full implementation of the Pact on Migration and Asylum, together with progress on the return regulation, forms an integral part of this effort, of this huge effort, and a core component, I repeat, of our intended goal of European security. Another key aspect of European security, which will be at the focus of the Cyprus Presidency, is maritime security. In practice, this involves safeguarding freedom of navigation and maritime security through the advancement of the implementation of the relevant EU strategy. I have mentioned before that the concept of security is a multidimensional concept that touches upon all policies of the EU in a transversal way. And in this context, economic security is another crucial dimension of our overall approach. In this regard, the Cyprus Presidency will therefore actively contribute to the implementation of the strategy for strengthening European economic security. At the same time, water security is also emerging as a strategic challenge for Europe's resilience, one that our country unfortunately knows all too well. Geographically located in one of the most climate vulnerable regions, Cyprus is already experiencing its effects. Therefore, water security is a matter of fundamental importance for climate adaptation, for competitiveness, and for the EU's crisis preparedness. That is why our presidency will make the effective implementation of the European water resilience strategy a top priority. At the same time, we all agree that security begins always from within the Union itself and its member states, from shielding our democracies against foreign interference, against disinformation, pressure on media freedom, against hate speech, and also hybrid threats. It depends on strengthening law enforcement cooperation and enhancing our capacity to tackle organized crime, terrorism, and violent extremism, including in the digital sphere. In this context, the Cyprus Presidency, in order to address all these challenges, will work to advance the European Democracy Shield. Ladies and gentlemen, the second pillar of our priorities is autonomy through competitiveness, through the competitiveness of the European Union. After all, only a more competitive union can lead us to a more autonomous Europe. This is particularly true in today's world, where economic and strategic power go hand in hand, and autonomy, I repeat, cannot be achieved without competitiveness. So our presidency will focus on substantially strengthening European competitiveness by reducing bureaucracy for the benefit specifically of small and medium-sized enterprises, which are the backbone of the European economy. In this regard, we will work intensively to conclude negotiations on legislative proposals for simplification. At the same time, we will promote the conclusion and strengthening of the single market and also enhance financial autonomy by deepening capital markets and promoting the savings and investments union. We will work towards strengthening Europe's digital and energy autonomy, which are inextricably linked to the competitiveness of the Union, focusing on affordable and predictable energy prices. And in this context, we will work to promote the European grids package. The third pillar of our priorities is a union that is autonomous and open to the world. And a truly autonomous union to which we aspire is by definition a union that is open to the world. Because, ladies and gentlemen, autonomy does not mean introversion. It means, on the contrary, openness. It means active engagement with the world, with all the countries of the world, always from a position of strength. In this context, enlargement is at the heart of this endeavor. From Ukraine and Moldova to the Western Balkans and Turkey, enlargement is the Union's most powerful geopolitical tool. It is about expanding essentially its vital space of security, stability, and opportunities. The Cyprus Presidency will therefore resolutely promote a credible enlargement agenda with the aim of achieving tangible results, specific results, always subject to conditionality, which applies regarding enlargement issues. At the same time, strengthening the EU's relations with the southern neighborhood and the Gulf countries, that is the immediate neighborhood of Cyprus, and deepening relations with regional organizations such as the Gulf Cooperation Council and the Arab League are a strategic priority for the Cyprus Presidency. And it is in this framework, in addition to the informal council mentioned by the Deputy Minister beforehand, the council that will be held in Cyprus, we will work, amongst others, towards the operational implementation of the new Pact for the Mediterranean by promoting its objectives and flagship projects, which will be presented at the informal European Council in April in the presence of the heads of state of the 10 countries of the southern neighborhood. At the same time, we believe and we will promote the complementarity of the Pact for the Mediterranean with projects such as IMEC, the economic corridor between India, Middle East, and Europe, capitalizing on the long-standing strong relations of the Republic of Cyprus with the countries of the Middle East, the Gulf, and of course India. A union open to the world is also a union with an open, strong, and sustainable trade policy achieved through expanding its network of trade agreements. And this includes free trade agreements with partners such as the United Arab Emirates and India, which we aim to finalize these agreements the soonest possible. At the same time, our presidency will support the further deepening of our relations with the United States and the United Kingdom, as well as other like-minded partners of the European Union. Ladies and gentlemen, a union that is open to the world is also a union that is capable of responding swiftly and effectively to crisis situations. We will therefore work to strengthen the European rapid response capacity, exploiting synergies and drawing on the expertise and experience gained by Cyprus as a regional hub for evacuations and humanitarian aid. The fourth pillar of the Cyprus Presidency's priorities is an autonomous union of values, for all, and an inclusive union of values for all. After all, a truly autonomous union is a union that leaves no citizen behind. The Cyprus Presidency will therefore work to find lasting solutions to the daily challenges faced by our citizens, thereby achieving the goal of strengthening social cohesion. In this regard, and recognizing that housing is currently one of the most pressing social issues at European level, we have made affordable housing a priority, including through the implementation of the relevant European plan, which has been recently announced, while fully respecting the principles of subsidiarity and the fact that housing is a national competence. At the same time, children and young people must remain at the heart of our policies. Only by doing so can we truly invest in the future of Europe, by protecting, first and foremost, our children and the younger generation, by protecting the future of Europe. In this context, the Cyprus Presidency will place a particular focus on protecting minors on the internet. We await soon the European Action Plan against cyberbullying, and we are ready to work towards its effective advancement and, more importantly, its implementation in line with the vision of a truly autonomous health union. Our presidency will focus on enhancing access to and availability of medical devices, as well as on the resilience and further integration of our health systems. Ladies and gentlemen, I now come to the fifth pillar of our priorities, which is a budget that effectively supports the four previous priorities, a budget that effectively supports the goal for an autonomous union. In this context, during our presidency, we will manage the very important dossier of the new multi-annual financial framework, which must become the vehicle through which the Union will implement its strategic priorities. And I repeat, this is the only way to achieve the goal of making the EU truly autonomous. During our presidency, we will therefore work towards a strong, ambitious, and balanced budget for the future of the Union. And as presidency, through cooperation, through transparency and dialogue, we aim to deliver to the next presidency a mature negotiating box with indicative figures, and our goal is to achieve this by June 2026. Ladies and gentlemen, the European Union, as we all know, was not built in conditions of security and certainty. It was built through the unwavering courage of visionaries striving to lead it forward. At its core, the European Union has always been a work in progress, an edifice that transforms, adapts, and strengthens itself through challenges. On this journey, European autonomy and the further deepening of European integration that comes with it are the natural evolution, and we have no doubt about this, the natural evolution, the natural transformation of the European project. And it is precisely through this reasoning that the Cyprus presidency will work with determination to give new momentum to the European edifice and contribute substantially to the next step in our common journey. A common journey, a common effort for an autonomous union open to the world, which is also the best safeguard for a secure future for the citizens, for all the citizens of the European Union, and for a European continent of peace, security, and cooperation. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. President. The thread of the Cyprus presidency begins to unravel from the history and tradition of our country. It embraces modern Cyprus with its creativity, innovation, and strategic partnerships, and travels to Europe, where Cyprus, as an equal partner, contributes to the harmony, stability, and strength of the united European family, to strengthen democratic principles and values and citizens' rights. The vision and goals of the Cyprus presidency are encompassed in its symbol, the logo, that reflects the strong foundations of its memory and history and inspires a future of growth, unity, and development within the strongest political union of states, the European Union. The logo of the Cyprus presidency of the Council of the EU was created by graphic designers Marios Skouroufexis. The inspiration and messages behind the Cyprus presidency logo are revealed in the following video. The thread of Cyprus can be tracked back through the centuries. It weaves the story of our island's history, tradition, and identity, just as a needle creates an embroidery stitch by stitch. This thread forms the link between the past and present and leads with confidence and pride towards the future, interweaving Cyprus's journey over time with Europe, with a common European future. It is the same thread that binds together the elements that make up our island, the land and the sea, the sun, the light, the culture, into a unique tradition. A tradition with European, Byzantine, and Middle Eastern aspects. These aspects reflect the soul of an island at the crossroads of three continents, an island that belongs to Europe, standing at its southeasternmost edge, and that has been building bridges between peoples and cultures for centuries. In the picturesque, sun-drenched streets of Lefkara, a handicraft was born whose reputation and popularity traveled beyond Cyprus's shores, Lefkara lace, or Lefkaritika. Tracing its roots back to the 12th century, it combines Western influences with Cypriot creativity and skill. Registered in the UNESCO list of intangible cultural heritage, it is a symbol of handicraft and design. Thread is at its heart, fragile on its own, but strong and binding when woven together. This serves as a metaphor for the unification of people, states, ideas, and cultures into a united, harmonious, and strong whole, the shared European project. Cyprus will take the helm of the European Union for 6 months as its last divided, occupied member state, looking to the EU's unifying power to bring about reunification. It presents its own symbol for our shared European vision, a logo inspired by the lacework of Lefkara, the symbol of Cypriot and European cultural heritage, the symbol of strength based on union. The logo of the Cyprus Presidency of the Council of the European Union comprises 27 tiles. Each one represents one EU member state. Together, they form a harmonious and united whole, the EU member states advancing together with a stronger union and a common purpose. Together, they represent the Cypriot sun, which radiates light, energy, renewal, and hope, illuminating the way towards a shared, sustainable, and brighter European future. For a stronger Europe, more autonomous, more resilient, more mutually supportive, and closer to its citizens. For a Europe that truly meets the challenges of our time: security, defense, competitiveness, energy, the green and digital transitions, regional cooperation, social cohesion, and solidarity. We are stronger together.
Με την παρουσίαση
with the revelation of the logo, the event for the presentation of the Cyprus Presidency program is concluded. Mr. President, ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much. We also thank the audience who followed online and live this event. Have a good day and a successful presidency for all.